In my opinion, the Stanley Cup playoffs are the best time of the year, especially the first round of the playoffs. Those are the absolute best. From about mid-March to mid-April when the first round starts, it gets to be the dog days of the season. Some years it's kind of a grind. I mean, 82 games is a lot. You're waiting for these regular season ones to be done with so the real fun, juicy hockey can start. But then you also get years like this where the playoff races are so tight between so many teams that it's just must-watch TV down the stretch. I especially love when we get those proverbial 4-point games. It makes the races even more interesting. Especially in the East, it's an absolute logjam, and I'm at the point where I just want all these teams to just keep winning. It'll keep things interesting right up to the very end, and it's awesome to see teams clinch on the last day of the regular season. Jersey, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Islanders, Washington, Detroit, and even Philly, who's by no means safe in that third Metro spot. Even Tampa's only got 78, but I really do think they're going to make it. That's 8 teams fighting for 3 spots, and the Atlantic teams, Tampa, Detroit, and Buffalo, can't even go grab the third Metro spot that Philly has. So for them, it's the 2 wildcard spots or bust, assuming Toronto doesn't let go of the third Atlantic spot. Yesterday, we saw this playoff race in full force, and it started with the Islanders and Rangers. After battling so hard to win 6 in a row and claw themselves back in a playoff position, the bad news is after that 5-2 loss to the Rangers, the Islanders have now dropped 4 in a row and sit outside of the playoffs once again. The good news is they're only 1 point back of Detroit with a game in hand. There were just way too many passengers in that game against the Rangers yesterday. Bo Horvat has really seemed to step up lately, but everybody else has seemed to be pretty disappointing as of late. They've given themselves a fighting chance here though, and with Sorokin between the pipes, Barzal and Horvat up front, it's definitely not out of the question for them to grab one of the playoff spots. Jack Eichel scored a backbreaker in the third period of that Devils Golden Knights game. That win was huge for Vegas in maintaining playoff positioning in the very last spot in the West. For the Devils, it's a heartbreaker, and their already slim playoff chances got even slimmer. Coming into Saturday, Detroit had an absolutely massive 4-point game against Buffalo on the line here. We've talked a ton about the 7-game losing streak. They have not been playing well at all, and if Buffalo would have won that game, they would have only been 1 point back of Detroit. Instead, Patrick Kane scores a massive 2-1 goal. The Wings win, break that losing streak, and now are in that second wildcard spot. The very next night, though, they get slapped around in Pittsburgh by a Penguins team that has been struggling all season long. Sure, back-to-back for the Red Wings, they're tired, scheduled loss, you can say all of that stuff, but the fact of the matter is, a win in Pittsburgh last night would have been absolutely huge for the Red Wings playoff push. And for everything that's been said about this Penguins team, even on this channel, they're still only 5 points back of that last spot. They're one of the more unlikely teams to go get it for sure, but they're certainly not completely out of this thing. Then there's Washington, who somewhat out of nowhere find themselves out of the teams who were out of the playoff spots. They have the best chance of getting in. Not only are they only 1 point back of Detroit, but they also have 2 games in hand. On the Red Wings, but also on Philly, who they only sit 3 points back of. Ovi and the boys have a real shot at this thing here. That win against Vancouver was huge. Now I pass it off to you. Out of those 3 spots, the third Metro and the 2 wildcard spots, who do you think's going to get them, and who do you want to get them? Between the teams that are in the race here, for the teams that you want to get in, not like Ottawa or Columbus or something. I'm tracking this stuff super closely. If you want more videos like this where I give kind of an update of the playoff race with all these teams, let me know by liking the video. It's fun to cover all of them at once, and next time the video is probably going to be longer. I'm going to dive deeper into the state of each of these teams. If that's something you like down the stretch, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.